if you were 18, starting something new, is there something different that you think is an opportunity now that wasn't there 4 years ago?
If I was starting now, I think I would do it about online video. I think I wouldn't focus on cable news. I would focus on news being delivered online, mostly on a video, in a video form. Because to me, that's where the real innovation is right now. I'm trying to do some of those stories now on TV Decoder about how TV is becoming video, but that's probably the blog I would have launched. I think instead of Cable Newser, it would have been Web Newser.
Yeah. You seem to be a bit of an early adopter. What are you getting into now? Is there something that 6 months from now we'll be using? I'm surprised to hear you're buying shows off iTunes, to be honest. To me, it's not worth the $2. You can get them for free, or you can put them on your DVR.
My philosophy has always been, if I can pay for it, I will. The one series that I can't pay for yet, Entourage on HBO, I do have to find other ways to watch. But if I can pay for it...
You don't get HBO at home?
I just got cable at home. It took a month to get cable.
How is it moving to New York, by the way?
It's mostly good. It's been better than I expected. I went home for the first time and found myself missing New York, which I never thought I would experience.
So you were scared of New York, or just not?
I wasn't scared. What happened was I'd always come up here, and I'd always assume I was going to move here. I never thought about where I wanted to.
Yeah.
I just assumed I would. I never ever got to the point where I was like, where do I want to live after I graduate? So other than taking a month to get Time Warner, it's been a pretty good move. Now that I finally have cable at home, I think I am going to subscribe to HBO, but we didn't get it in my dorm back at college, so it was a kind of a tricky situation. But I've always said I would pay if I could. Yeah. Now that the streaming stuff is happening, now that they say the quality is getting better, I'll keep trying it, but to me it still isn't a very good experience. I still do find myself, though, going home at night and not, I'm not automatically turning on the TV the way I used to, which is strange to me. You know, I've made my living off of watching TV, and I don't turn it on anymore as much. I still go to the web now instead for that. Yeah. I think television, at least in the way my generation's consuming it, is becoming an online platform. My girlfriend watches Grey's Anatomy every week online. She has not watched it on television in about a year. Yeah. I don't know, I don't think that's an early adoption thing yet, but I do think it's something we've undercovered as an industry in general, is this idea that 20-somethings are going online for all their video content.
Yeah, most of it. Or if I turn my TV on, I turn it to the DVR, and I have the 3 shows I really want to watch, and I don't care when they're on. Yeah. But I'm not channel surfing unless maybe for sports or something.
Yeah, I do think that we know that shift has been something that's been hard to detect, but it's extraordinary when we start to think about it. Because there are shows I watch now that I wouldn't otherwise watch. I was watching Back to You on from Fox last week. But I can't really say Back to You on Fox anymore. I have to say from Fox, or delivered by Fox, or on Fox.com. It's a strange change we're experiencing.
When I was working at HBO, my roommate didn't know what she wanted to do, and she said, TV sounds like fun. Maybe I'd like to work in TV. And I said to her, you may like eating ice cream, but that doesn't mean you'd necessarily like making ice cream. So you started out as someone who ate a lot of ice cream, and now you're kind of making it, or you're more involved in it. Do you have like a different take? Do you look back at what you thought watching Brian Williams in '95, or watching the news, and see a different industry than you saw when you started?
Well, in some ways I see a different industry because it's become a very different industry. There's a reason why they canceled Brian Williams' newscast, and it's not just because he went to NBC.
And Aaron Brown's.
And Aaron Brown's, which I protested vigorously about on TV Newser. I thought it was shocking and horrible that they would cancel what I saw as one of the last newscasts on cable news. Right. If you look at cable news now, there really isn't a newscast of record.
No.
Shep Smith and Anderson Cooper are the 2 closest, but those both have their own sort of hooks and their own sort of special pegs.
Yeah, and Aaron Brown's show was a 1-hour version of the evening news, and those Anderson Cooper, which replaced him, is like a 2-hour version of whatever. It's not a newscast.
Yeah, I haven't come up with the right term for it yet. On the other hand, as much as I bemoan the loss of a newscast like Aaron Brown's, I watched MSNBC this morning, and they had paired up a news anchor with Joe Scarborough, who is their morning opinionated host. And they were doing essentially a opinionated riff on the news. It was the closest I've seen in daytime cable news to a opinionated newscast. And gosh, if I didn't like it a lot, and watch it and think that was the future. I do look at it differently because it's changed, and I do look at it differently because I look at it a little more as a business person, I guess, or at least as a someone who's invested in hoping that that it's a good product. I guess I see it in that way now.
Your mom must be pretty proud.
Yeah, she finally knows what blogs are now. It's been good.
You had a blog when you were 11. How did you?
Well, I didn't know it was a blog then. The day I brought home Diane Sawyer's autograph from Good Morning America, I think she understood what I was doing with the blog.